We were Muslim people. We were doing all ritual stuff, and we knew nothing else. She have seen dreams about Jesus 2 evenings, and then the 3rd day she was Christian. Okay. And when she told me she was Christian, I was devastated. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't take that, because we grew up as Muslims, and all our families are Muslims, and I knew the consequence of becoming Christian. It is death penalty, and I didn't want anything to happen to my wife or to our family. So I was in shock by one way, and I was in denial another way. So I said, no, you cannot be, and this is wrong thing. You have to take back these words. And she said, no, and she started saying, Jesus is a lie. Jesus is a lie. He is the way, the life, the truth. No one comes to the Father except through him. And I didn't know. I don't know what she was saying. And I said, no, we have Muhammad. Muhammad is the only way. Nothing else. No one else, or other ways you cannot be saved. And she was saying, I've seen heaven. I've seen hell. So all things are real, but the only way is Jesus. And I was saying no. I was pushing her out. But she didn't stop there. She talked to her family, and she told them all as well. And she said, I have a mission, and my mission is to tell people, to warn people to not end up in hell. So I have to tell them, and I know where I'm going. I asked her, where do you go? And she said, I'm going with Jesus to heaven, because he promised me that. And everyone who believes in him, he will go to heaven. Just to believe in him. Even her character was changed. I was attacking her. I was saying names, and I was bad to her. And she used to say, I know, you don't know what you're saying. You don't know what you're doing, but I forgive you. And she was a person so strongly, never forgive anyone when she was Muslim. She used to say, I will never forgive you. And now she started forgiving people. Even she was saying, my mom and my siblings who hate me so, I love them. So she was, she became a loving person, caring person, forgiving person. And I didn't know where this come from. But now I know where all this come from. It is the fruit of the Spirit that will build you up from within. The family want me to do something. And when they've seen, all 4 years, I haven't done anything. I'm still staying there. And they were saying, you are living in sin because you cannot live with infidel or, kafir, or what it's called.
Apostate.
Apostate, yes. You cannot live with her. So you are living in sin. And I was saying, justifying myself, this is my wife, and if I want to win her back, how I can win her back? I have to stay with her and talk to her. Otherwise, she will astray, afar. And that was my justification. But they said, no, this is not enough. So they went to a mosque, and they consulted with all, clerics and scholars, and they made decision, and they give the decision to Shania's mother. And she phoned me, and she said, Shino, we've seen you staying with her for almost 4 years, and you have done nothing. But our religion and our scholars are saying this, and this is 2 options you have to do. Either one you have to do. The first one was take your children away from her and leave her. The second one was, the mother says, you have to kill her. When she said that, that was my wake-up call. It was against my moral and ethic principles by myself. And I said, how can this be? How can Allah expect me to do this cruel stuff? And this, I call this, repulsive and wicked options. I can't do that. I cannot do this. But they said, if you cannot do this, you cannot be real Muslim. And I said, let me do my research. Let me do some studies. And I wanted to win some more time. And I went deeply to study, these options. And I came to conclusion that I don't have any other option, because the Prophet says anyone who leaves Islam, he must be killed. Yes, when I've seen this, I was trying to have a loophole to win some more time. But when I came to this conclusion, I said, no, this cannot be. If this is the options they want me on a decision I have to make my own decision. And I said, I will have nothing to do with Islam. I renounce it from that on. That's it. I made my decision. And that was before 4 months that I became a follower of Christ. I stopped all ritual stuff about Islam, and I took the Bible out. And before I opened the Bible, I prayed short prayer. And I said, Lord, if you are the Lord of this Bible, show me something which can change my life. Something that, that I believe that you are the Lord of this book. I will follow you. And I opened the Bible then. Randomly, just to open the Bible. When I opened the Bible, I came to John chapter 8. John chapter 8, verse 1 till 11. It is a history about a woman who was caught in adultery. When I've seen that, I remember this, similar history is in Islam. And I knew how that ended up. Yep. It ended by the woman was stoned to death.
Stoned to death. Mm-hmm.
stoned to death. And I was sensing this will end will end similar, maybe. It is just like the Bible or like Quran. Okay, let me see, let me read. When I started reading, and the Pharisees came and asked Jesus, this woman was caught in adultery, and the law of Moses commands us she must be stoned. What are you saying here? When I read that, I was expecting something similar to the Muslim woman in that narrative. And Jesus stood down, and they talked more, and they were testing him that they could find something to accuse him. And later he stood up and he said, any one of you who never sinned, let him throw the first stone to her. That was eye-opening to me. And no one stoned her, and everyone left the place. And Jesus and women left there, and he asked her, where are your accusers, lady? When he was saying that, I was picturing as well, Jesus in Quran, he was sinless, and he was a human being. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking he could stone her. Why didn't he do? And I was picturing even this woman, she was there, and her life was in the hand of Jesus. What he says will be done. And maybe she was expecting the first stone will come now or later, and she was so dependent on Jesus. And in my sense, I was saying why he didn't stone. And the verse comes, he says, I will not accuse you, lady. Go your way and sin no more. When he said that, I felt love in the ending here, because I was seeing love, forgiveness, mercy, grace, and Jesus there. Woman, she was alive. And remember the other side of Islam, she was killed. Life and death. That's the picture I had. In Islam, you have death. In Christianity, you have life, grace and mercy, and loving Jesus. And this was a history which ended in a wonderful way. But I wasn't so convinced yet. I wanted to know more about Jesus, because I was taught that he was just a prophet. He was a man like us. He was a slave of Allah. And then verse 12 says, Jesus himself says, I am the light of this world. Anyone who comes to me will not go under the dark, but will have the light of this world. And then the flash came back. In Quran, I knew, and Islam, one of Allah's name is An-Nur, light. And Jesus claiming now, he is the Nur. No one can claim that he is the light, because the light is only Allah. God is light. And I felt now he is claiming God. How can this be? Because I was taught that he was just a mere person and slave of Allah. And now he's saying, I am the light. Not only that, if you come to me, I will give you this light of the world. I loved him. And I loved what I was reading. But still, I was not convinced. I read some more verses, and I came to this verse 24, where Jesus says, you will die in your sin. If you don't believe that I am, you will die in your sin. This was not only a verse, but it was a personal verse to me. And that was when I was seeing just a vision and conversation with Jesus I had. So he was telling me, Shino, you will die in your sin. If you don't believe that I am he, you will die in your sin. I was thinking, who is he? And he was pointing back to me, I am the light of the world. I am he, I'm God. I was so, confused a bit, and I was feeling heavy loaded on my shoulders. I could feel, all my sins were on me. And this I am is jumping up and down, were getting my attention. The verse is very big, and I cannot leave. I have to say something. He was not forcing me, but he was just telling me or saying, do you want to die in your sin? And I knew if I die with my sin, I will end up in hell. And if I want to be saved, I have to accept that he is the Lord. So after a while, I couldn't bear this heavy loaded sin on my shoulder. And what I've seen was I didn't want to go to hell. I wanted someone to save me. So I came to conclusion. I said, my decision is I want you to be my Lord and Savior. And I accepted him as my Lord and Savior that time. And then heavy loaded, all my shoulder went away, and I became light and happy and joyful. And then quickly I took my car, drove back home, and came to Shania. When she see me happy, she asked me, what happened to you today, Shino? And I said, I found Jesus in the Bible, and I accepted him as my Lord and Savior. And she was so happy that she hugged me. And it was a one wonderful day for both of us. It was a phenomenal day. And in the moment, she read the salvation prayer with me, and we became one again. And the harmony and the life we were missing all these 4 years came back in complete way. But now Jesus in our life.